like realize I was called by another. And so she called me back, and I think this is a lighter year. They do that thing where they really want the math teachers to go down and help out.
Yeah, well, and plus a lot of the special stuff,
Yeah.
I think it's a little more expected. I mean, I still don't think everyone's happy about it, but
Does that mean we're going to have a different Wi-Fi here? Because I
oh yeah, I
didn't
don't know.
realize that. Because
Possibly so. I don't even know if they have it here. Let me check.
hello, Tracy. How you doing? Oh,
It's been a while since I've been over here.
Yeah.
Okay, his name is. Yes. Good.
How hot these mics are. Pretty hot.
there it's hot. Oh yeah, it's hot. So don't talk. Yes. Thank you for letting me know. I'll tell my colleagues.
Ah! James, don't take this in a negative. I'm sure with your daddy, your granddaddy,
Get the
good to
memo
see
that
you in
they're all hot.
action. Yeah,
Well,
I do.
I'm gonna turn mine.
He is, but he just don't even think it.
right.
Man.
That's the way I like to think about it.
Yeah.
He's looking down.
Oh.
I hope most of the time he's saying, "That a boy, James." But I think sometimes he goes, "What is this guy thinking?"
No, you've been on the mark, bro.
Sometimes I am.
I think most of the time.
Most of the time,
Yeah.
maybe most of the time.
I do. I do.
That's very possible. That's very possible.
I don't like coming up here by myself.
Oh,
There's safety in numbers, right? Okay. I'm doing good. How about yourself? Good. Oh yes, that's true. So when do you have any idea when they'll start moving? Okay. Congratulations. Wow. Where does UCR fall in your list of where you want to go? Okay. Hey, well you're going.
do I supposed to? Can you see anything?
Okay.
Did I get your CC?
No, I was gonna ask him because the Wi-Fi might be a little bit.
Oh, you know what? I never even checked it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember waiting, yeah, for that and just thinking like because because you're really kind of deciding where am I going to be for the next 4 years? Like obviously if you're at a point in your life you're going to go well, you have like a whole bunch of time to spread out
Did you
throughout your life.
get some? Did you get any feedback? I mean, colleges that around this time? UCR? That's good.
Yeah.
UCR, I almost wanted my daughter to go there instead of UCLA because her friends were, a couple of them she knew there. I thought it'd be perfect, experience with her really good friends.
Okay.
But then she got on a waiting list. So I'm like, darn. She got into UCLA, but she got on a waiting list for, I think,
Yeah.
and then the other one's got into the waiting list for UCLA. So it's just, it doesn't go the way you want to sometimes.
Yeah, I tell people, like, don't read into the
No.
acceptances or rejections.
I think it's just,
don't make sense.
yeah, I think so.
They don't make sense. Yeah. I remember when I was finishing up undergrad and I was applying to vet school, like I turned everything in, and then you have to like
Mercedes, we have to figure out what the Wi-Fi is in here.
places. And then when I finished my last interview,
No, I know. I'm asking him for help. Because
oh my gosh, I hadn't even considered that. Fortunately, I got in. But it was, yeah, it was. Well, make sure you celebrate all of them because yeah, it's a big accomplishment for sure, and it's a culmination of a lot of really hard work and effort and everything. So, it'll and the thing is I'm also
Mr. Ramos, can you come down to the dais, please?
supposed to go. You know what? It is so hard.
Max, thank you.
It's so hard to know like what could happen between these places, but it'll work out.
That's a good way to let us know. Now we know.
It's like, oh, we got it now.
Hey, what kind of school is it? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
we're just gonna have to. Well, I think for anything, just she needs Rena. Oh, she has. Oh, she's good. She's good. So she can lead us along then. Okay, what I. Oh, yeah. Somebody has a vision or mission thing to read out. You want to do it?
Let's see.
Okay.
Yep.
You have it? Okay. The pen has it. Okay.
Mr. Bell has it? Okay. So, Mr. Bell, you're going to do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Which one do you want me to do? All of them?
All of them because
Okay.
we don't have
Right.
we don't have anything to. But this covers.
So yeah, just let me know.
Well, the good thing is that we don't have presentations.
No presentation.
Yeah, I know there also is once you're in college, they have a community
I'm wondering if they're going to be
as well. So we're seeing where our department is going to be picking up.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, there's a
Yeah, for sure.
light.
It's
There's house lights where you pull up from the back. I know where they're at. Yeah, so somebody just pull them up a little higher. It's very dinner like if you're going to like
okay. I think they will, but
like a romance dinner. Come on. No, it's not romantic. I'm just saying. Oh, you got yours?
it's very very good. But it is.
But if you go back, you're not gonna get it.
Like you really like get from here and like do a project. It's not just like oh I'm gonna watch something and do something. Like you get it like it is. Yeah, it is very very much like that, and it'll be great too for like if you do want to do
Okay, well, if you still have it. Maybe
Okay, okay.
And it's gonna be after the, after the roll call. And today I will be calling by names because this is always like, oh, they're not rush.
But it is like such a significant discovery. It's like on par with discovering
See, there's not enough, I feel like I don't have enough.
like it is a enormous discovery. So if you're looking for some super interesting reading, it's called The Code Breaker.
That's,
Yeah,
okay, yes, I got that
it's
one.
really, really just kind of puts like a very human face on
Well, I have the same thing, but it doesn't move. So it's just gonna stay where it's at.
exactly. So yeah, if you have some time, and it's available. I don't know if you have a library card.
I don't need my computer thing.
Libby before, but you can get the audiobook or the digital version of the book for free.
Okay, is everyone ready?
So yeah, I started listening to the audiobook last week, and it's very, very interesting. Yeah.
Why it was here.
Was it really? What is that? It's a remote for something. Where's the receipt? Okay, oops, is this one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, good evening to all of you and welcome to the board meeting. At this time, the Board of Education will listen to communication from the public on any closed session item,
Madam President.
agenda item.
We actually,
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm reading. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, thank you. The board just returned from closed session where a deliberation regarding a recommendation for expulsion in student case number 012122. The board will now take action on the disposition of this hearing. At this time, I need a motion.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second.
Madam President,
I'm sorry.
if I can defer, I think that Board Member Finley
Yes.
Was
has,
gonna-
has
yes.
a motion to make.
Yes, I have the language here. So I request a motion that student number 012122 be expelled from the Duarte Unified School District and pursuant to Education Code 48917. Further move that the board suspend the enforcement of the expulsion order and place the student at independent studies. And the term of this expulsion will be for the remainder of the semester, inclusive of summer of 2022.
There is a motion by Dr. Finley. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bell. Any discussion? Any opposition? The motion is carried. At
One
this-
moment, Madam President.
Yes,
I
sir.
have one technical issue I have to address. Hi, Board Member Koo. We're getting ready to start roll call. Just one moment.
At this time, I will call the meeting to order at 7:24. We have Mrs. Koo with us via teleconference. Let the record show that Board Member Koo is joining us via teleconference from 555 Canal Street,
Lobby Room, New Orleans, 70130. This location is accessible to the public and members of the public wishing to address the board directly from this location. Will be allowed to do so during the public comment portion of the meeting. Also, since the meeting is being teleconferenced, all actions will be taken by roll call vote. At this time, I will do a roll call. Mr. Bell,
Here.
Mrs. Carroll,
Here.
Dr. Finlay,
Here.
Mrs. Koo,
Here.
Reina Diaz here, and do we have our student rep?
Here.
And that's Ariana? Okay.
Also, Madam President,
Yes.
our student board rep, Guadalupe, is also here.
is also here? Okay. Guadalupe, are you here?
Here.
Thank you. Dr. Emerson?
Present, Madam President, and all cabinet members are present as well.
Thank you. At this time, I will ask the superintendent to please lead us on the flag salute, and then after him, Mr. Bell, if he can please read the beliefs, the mission, the vision, and the mission. Thank you.
Please all rise, and we're going to face the east. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I would like to ask for a moment of reflection. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, Mr. Bell.
Yes, I would like to express the beliefs and the vision of this board. Our beliefs: we believe we are a community of learners. We believe learning occurs in a culture of caring and respect. We believe all students are motivated to learn when they are engaged in meaningful work that connects to their lives. We believe expectations do influence performances and outcomes. We believe learning increases when there are high expectations for performance and conduct. We believe we have the responsibility to find solutions that enable all of our students to learn. And our vision is 21st century schools producing 21st century students. Our mission is to provide the knowledge, skill, and inspiration for each student for success in college, career, and in life.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. We now move to item number 7. Is going to be the adoption of the agenda.
Move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
at this, make sure my mic is right. At this time, staff would like to provide an amendment to the agenda. And at this time, we would like to amend item number 12.4, which is to adopt resolution 19-21-22, reduction or discontinuance of particular kinds of service. And we have amended that. It originally was posted at 11.2 full-time equivalent positions, and we are amending that to be 11.0 full-time equivalent positions, removing the .2 high school vocal music section.
Thank you, Dr. Emerson. So it was moved by Mr. Bell and second by
James.
James.
Dr. Finlay.
Dr. Finlay.
Dr. Finlay.
Okay. So I would like to reflect then that is move in second with the amendment. And I will call, there is any other discussion or questions? No, okay. Ariana, what is your vote?
Yes.
Guadalupe?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finley?
Yes.
Mrs. Koo?
Yes.
And Reina Diaz, yes. At this point, we move to item number A, reports from student board members. Okay, Ariana o Guadalupe.
Okay. A critical academic focus for students at MIT is financial literacy. Financial literacy is emphasized through Mr. Lanikit's financial algebra and Mr. Borelli's economic course. We are committed to preparing all students for life after high school by equipping them with the tools and knowledge to provide them with the financial roadmap to navigate decisions in their lives. On Thursday, February 24th, Stacy Arena and Melissa Alcantar and the Foothill Federal Credit Union team brought the Bite of Reality Fair to MIT to help them understand the need to understand money and budgeting. This reality fair is a fun, hands-on simulation that appeals to teens while giving them a taste of real-world financial realities and responsibilities, giving them a better understanding of the challenges of living on a budget. In preparation for this event, FFCU came on campus and taught a Money 101 and Credit 101 course to our students. Students from ambassadors have come together with the help of Mr. Clayton to create the first yearbook in 10 years. This week has been focused on yearbook pictures with seniors and graduating students in cap and gown. We are excited to be bringing this back and continue to celebrate students for their hard work. Our Creating Creators program has started filming for their short film on campus, allowing students to grow multiple skills and experiment their creativity. Open house will be on March 16 from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. There will be a raffle for seniors with a chance to win a free grad night ticket and free tacos for all who attend.
Good afternoon, I'm Ariana Serna and I'll be reporting for Doherty High School. So February might have been a short month, but our campus was exploding with fun activities and things to look forward to each week. To start the month off strong, we started off by celebrating Lunar New Year with a bunch of free gifts, a spin wheel, and a good luck tree. The following week, our seniors began selling our Valentine's Day carnations. On Valentine's Day itself, our quad was packed with love as we did face paint games as well as have music. And the week before Valentine's Day, the week of the 7th, we celebrated my personal favorite week that I've been planning for the past 4 years, which was Kindness Week. This year's theme was from the Disney movie Encanto. For this week, I love to focus on spreading kindness, and everything we have to offer is free, so every single person can get a chance to participate. Every single day, we offered beautiful free kindness grams to deliver and fun events such as face paint and having fun games for our students. For the seniors, this was our last month for college application and financial aid workshops. For our class of 2022, a very exciting day we had to offer this month was Tuesday, which was 2/22/2022. As we presented our Senior Hall of Fame, I proudly won as our one most school spirit. Little plug there. For our seniors, thank you. For our seniors, this coming month on March 12th, if you want to offer for our fundraiser, we're gonna have a car wash for only $5, so I have some tickets if you wanna buy some. I also would like to highlight our No Hate rally that we had. We had BMX bikes come and all of our students had a lot of fun with that. So thank you to our ASB and our activities director for planning that. I would also like to highlight our MLK assembly. I know a few board members were attending that day. That went very beautifully. I heard a lot of feedback from that, and shout out to our Doherty dance for being there. So this month we had a bunch of events, and to end our month off strong, we had a spirit week as well as to honor our sports teams as well as our academics. February was a very busy month, but it was a lot of fun. As the last few months of our school come around, we have a ton more things planned for the end of our 2022 school year, as well for all of our seniors. Thank you.
Thank you, Ariana. Superintendent report, item number 9.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll echo our student board rep, Ariana's comments with respect to the MLK celebration that was at Duarte High School last week. It was a great opportunity and a great event to hear messages of hope and inspiration, performances of hope and inspiration by our students, by community leaders, and it was a very, very nice event for the student body to come out and see and be able to celebrate Black History Month and also the life and the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I want to take a moment just to highlight our Duarte Unified School District preschool programs. I never seem to be more impressed than when I actually go and get a chance to see our little scholars, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and the amount of engaged learning, engaged play that they're doing. I mean, it's amazing what our early childhood educators do and the work that our preschool programs are producing. And one thing that I'm always reminded of is that our preschool program has been a leader for us since very, very early on in the pandemic. Our preschool programs opened before everything else, and they showed that there were ways to do it effectively, keep our kids safe, keep the continuity of instruction happening. And so I think that all of our early childhood educators, as well as our leadership, Sofia Valdez and the whole team in our preschools, should be applauded for the work that they have been doing and continue to do. It's very, very inspiring. I also want to take a moment, absolutely well deserved. I also want to take a moment to just recognize a wonderful event that happened a couple of weekends ago, the groundbreaking for the Duarte High School Sports Complex. And that's a project that's been a long time coming in. And I know that in some cases, members of the community may wonder, why are we building a high school gym? Like, why do we need that? And my question is, why don't our kids deserve that? Why don't our kids deserve to play in a facility that has air conditioning and that has good cleaning, running water and has top-notch, equipment and bleachers and scoreboards? Because that's what they go and see when they go to other places. And I just think that, for a gymnasium that's been there probably since the 1960s, our kids deserve it. And the community also thought that our kids deserved it, and that's why they voted for the Measure S bond. And so I'm proud of the work. I'm proud of the collaboration that we've been able to have with the leadership at Duarte High School, as well as with this board and the community about something that's really, really important. And to come out on a Saturday and see alumni from the class of 1961, it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. And to see the pride and the joy that they had reconnecting with one another. And then it's actually funny, I spent a little bit of time with Assistant Superintendent Bell earlier today, and she and some of the other staff members were looking at a yearbook or some kind of a picture book from like the mid-'80s, and seeing the way too short shorts and all that kind of good stuff that were happening in the '80s, but that's a whole nother story. But these are the types of things that are happening behind the scenes, and I think that, again, our community and our folks want to celebrate these wonderful accomplishments of not only our alumni, but also our scholars that are here with us now and will be with us in the future. And it's always funny to talk with our scholars like Ariana and Guadalupe, who unfortunately won't get to see the fruits of that labor and seeing that high school gymnasium. But when I talk to our 4th and 5th graders that are across our district, they're super excited about that opportunity, which I think is wonderful. In a slightly different vein, but regarding some of the ongoing work that is happening with the consolidation and the right sizing of the school district, the project to consolidate and close the Andres Duarte program at the end of this academic school year, that process continues to move forward. Folks may remember or may know that the board took action to approve new boundary maps, moving from K6, K8 district boundaries to 4. And then also, initial communications have now gone out to families and gone out to the community about those changes. But what's also on the horizon is that you would have heard throughout this process that there will be work to be done by a 7-Eleven type community committee to determine what happens with the Andres Duarte property, what happens with those facilities, and then also the additional programs that are still there. As you're all aware, there are programs that are still functioning on that campus throughout the course of the next academic year. And so over the next few days, there will be an application process that will go up on the district's website, and it will invite folks to be a part of that 7-Eleven committee. And then we will also be sharing more and additional information with the community in that regard at our next board meeting, which will be a special meeting next week. So more to come on that. And then my last thing that I want to share is something that I just was wowed by this afternoon. So when I get the chance to celebrate great work that our folks do, I want to make sure that I do that. So if you haven't seen yet, Mr. Lamone, our wonderful band instructor at Duarte High School, actually sent out an email regarding a wonderful event that's going to be happening. I got to double check the date, but a wonderful event that's going to be happening where our Duarte High School Jazz Band is going to be kind of the house band for this jazz kind of concert, jazz festival, that's going to include one of the top trumpeters in California, in the world for that matter. It is, thank you, it's Friday, May 13th. It will be our jazz band that will be performing. It will be the Azusa Pacific University band will be performing, as well as the Citrus College band will be performing. But what was really, really cool is if you saw that email and if you clicked on the link, you will see Mr. Lamone in action on this YouTube video. If you haven't seen it yet, he's pretty awesome. And he's doing this quarantine-based collaboration with all these amazing jazz musicians, and it's a really, really cool thing. And so if you see Mr. Lamone, give him a knuckle, give him an elbow, just tell him kudos, a great job. He can really rock it on a saxophone. So it's pretty cool stuff to watch. And with that, that's the conclusion of my report. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Dr. Emerson. We now move to item 10, request to address the board. Mrs. Koo, do we have any members of the public at the remote location that would like to address the board?
No.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Emerson.
Thank you, Madam President. Our first speaker tonight will be Michelle Silence. Michelle Silence. Thank you, Michelle, and you will have 3 minutes to address the board.
My name is Michelle Silence. I'm from the KidFit Preschool Health and Fitness Organization. We basically have worked with kids in preschool, like what Dr. Emerson was talking about, helping children in preschool develop healthy lifestyle habits for 27 years. And we wanted to do a fundraiser that would help not just preschoolers, but the Duarte, is it okay if I take this off for a second?
Yes.
Okay. That would help the Duarte High School students earn some fundraising money. So we've been working on a fundraiser since October. It's called the KidFit Family Fun Run 5K, and it will be a 5K event that's going to be held on the recreational trail. To benefit, more than half of the proceeds will go to Duarte High School students. So I'm here tonight to try and get some support from the students in the high school and ask if anyone can help with volunteers, because we are going to be donating half of those funds to the high school, so we really want to be able to work with the high school students. And my personal vision is to make this an event where we can really showcase the kids in Duarte High School, their talents, their ability to lead, the characteristics that they have, because I think they don't get enough credit for the things that they are able to do and how qualified they are. So I brought flyers and information that I'll leave out in front that people can take with them. Maybe I should connect with Ariana later, that maybe she would be able to put me in touch with some more of the groups. I did speak at the high school to the Key Club and have been sending a lot of information to different people, but it would be good to get one person that can distribute the information throughout the system, because we are ready to start working with volunteers and signing them up for various projects. I also want to encourage everyone to come to the City Council meeting next Tuesday night in support of this event, because we are going to be talking about sponsorship from the City Council, and your support there will mean a big deal to them, so that they know that the community is behind this event And we want it to be an annual event that grows. All the cities around us have 5Ks, and we don't have one. And we feel this is an event that can grow into something really big, and we have a really beautiful recreational trail that's perfect for it. So I'm excited about doing it. Everybody I've talked to has been excited. And we just really want to connect with the kids in the school that are excited about helping us put it together and run it, so that eventually it'll be pretty much run by them. Hopefully it'll grow into something that's really big, and it can be run more and more by the kids in the high school, because they're going to be benefiting from it. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I will leave a few posters, flyers, and postcards out in front, and my email address is on these, so if someone has any questions or wants to help, we really would appreciate getting in touch with us right away, because this can take the place of some fundraising money you don't have.
That's time, Michelle. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Lot DeMeyer. Thank you, Lot, and you have 3 minutes.
Hello, everyone, dear members of the board, Duarte Unified School District leaders. My name is Lot de Meyer, and I am the elementary vocal music teacher at Duarte Unified School District. I first came here in 2019, and I have truly enjoyed the past 3 years of teaching. Here I love my students, I love my enthusiastic colleagues.
Lot, I'm sorry, just so we can hear you really well.
Okay,
There you
is
go.
that better?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
cool,
you.
thank you. So I've been here since 2019, and I've loved every day of it. I love my students, my colleagues, my supportive admin, and the overall school culture. The choir rooms are my happy place. We do a lot of fun things there. We sing songs. We play percussion instruments. We do games. We connect music to the core subjects, to math, to science, to language, to social studies. We learn about music of different eras, about music of different cultures. I currently teach more than 1,000 students in Duarte every week. Every weekday I go to a different elementary academy and teach all TK through 4th grade students there. At least that's the idea, because at Royal Oaks Team Academy, 3rd graders do not get vocal music because there's no time in my schedule. 4th graders at Royal Oaks Team Academy only get 22 minutes of vocal music lesson every week because there's no time in my schedule. At Andres Duarte School, 4th graders don't get vocal music. At Valley View, lessons are super short as well. There's just not enough time in my schedule. Next year, I will still have more than 1,000 students. But if the proposed 20% cut in the elementary choir program is approved, I will have to teach them now in 4 days rather than in 5 days. I don't see how that is even possible. I am a good teacher. I'm qualified. I hold both Belgian and California teaching credentials in music. I have 2 master's degrees in music. I have a doctoral degree in music. I teach as an adjunct professor at the University of Southern California Thornton School of Music. I'm creative, I'm efficient, I'm engaged, I connect with my students, and I'm committed to making Duarte's music program soar, as we'd say it at Royal Oaks Team Academy. But in 22 minutes, I just cannot do what other music teachers in other districts do in 45, 60, or even 90 minutes per week, because that's the time they get in many districts. The closure of Andres Duarte Arts Academy offers an opportunity to rectify this situation and invest in one of the things that makes Duarte Unified School District stand out: a strong and stable and continuous music program. Research has proven over and over that good music instruction in public schools helps students be more successful overall. So please let me fully commit to helping Duarte Unified School District and its students succeed.
That's time locked.
Okido. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Please don't hesitate to let me know if you have any
Thank you.
questions.
Our next speaker is Pat Shear. Thank you, Pat. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Good evening. Can you hear me? Stand over closer. Board members, thank you for inviting me up here. I'm Pat Shear, Beardsley Elementary, and I am your co-negotiations chair. We've asked our people to share some concerns, and so I thought I'd write down mine. I have quite a few, so I'm not really sure where to begin.
Pat,
First,
right into the mic.
right into the mic.
There you go.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
It keeps moving
Just
on me.
Just so they can hear you on there.
First, it's always the needs of my students. You know, what the students need in this world is changing every day, and it's a little scary for them, which creates demands on us as professionals, which makes us feel overworked and overwhelmed on occasion. There's also my concerns about safety and COVID and benefits and salary and COLA and inflation and right sizing and school closure and the changes to the work environment and our working conditions, just to name a few. And sometimes I feel like I could list all of my concerns to the moon and back. I think the one that troubles me the most, though, is the changes to our work environment that I've seen over the last 20 years. When I started here, we were in the middle of the pack in pay and in benefits. We had a great group of people. It was a family environment. It was where I wanted to be. I'm still good friends with a large group of those people. We're going to lunch next week. I've kept in contact with people that have been retired for many years. The thing that concerns me is that loss that's starting or feeling happening with that family environment. It's very hard for our newer staff to be part or to feel they're part of a family environment when they're essentially being divorced every year. In August, we say, you're wonderful, we love you, we want you to be part of our family, great to have you. In March, we say, sorry, changed my mind, I'm afraid, I'm filing for legal separation. I'd like to see you, I just can't afford to, thank you, goodbye. In May, we say, oops, I changed my mind, please come back. I still want you. Kind of feels like a revolving door. And sometimes we even change our mind in June or July or August. It's hard to have a family feeling when there is that revolving door going on for you. It's difficult to be part of a family when you're told multiple years in a row, innocence, you're not wanted. Now, I know, and you know, and they know it's not that we don't want them, but even so, when it happens, it feels personal. And when it happens to you, year after year, it's painful and it's unacceptable. Now, there could be overlooked in some cases where we are really super high-paid district, if we were doing this only occasionally, if we didn't offer things like full service credit, but that's not the case anymore. What's the result? Well, you've got older teachers like me who've been around forever, and we're too close to our end of our career to want to move. You've got the newer teachers who are going to start getting upset about their pink slips, and they get tired about that, and every year or so, they're going to get tired, and they're going to hunt for a place with better pay, better stability than what we can offer. And then you have the middle teachers who, in essence, could be seen as stuck because they can't afford to leave, they can't afford to lose their years of service, but they now have to take extra jobs to make ends meet. So the older ones like me, we're going to retire. The top third of our population is over 20 years. The newer ones will eventually start using us as a training ground, and the middle ones will remain stable, or maybe they won't. We're starting to lose that middle group. That really concerns me. These staff members are finding other districts are honoring our full service.
That's time, Pat.
Okay, well, thank you for my listening. My major concern is that loss of that environment.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
And our final speaker is Heather Messner. Welcome, Heather. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Heather Messner, and tonight I'm representing Duarte Unified Education Association. DUEA members are here before you tonight to show solidarity with our colleagues in labor that are facing a reduction or an elimination of their positions here in DUSD. For many of them, this has become a painful tradition of up to 8 years in a row. We hope you will consider offering an incentive to save those jobs lost and to keep and grow our valuable programs like music and Mandarin. Right-sizing doesn't always just mean laying off our newest teachers. Right-sizing can be cutting budgetary areas outside the classroom. Right-sizing can be offering your veteran staff an opportunity to walk away under their own terms with dignity and respect, while allowing for new teachers to become permanent, valued members of our educational community, without the specter of layoffs over their head every year. Done correctly, you can have a collaborative budgeting process with your labor partners that shows value in your rank and file staff that love working in our district with positional and financial security. We felt our members needed to have the opportunity to share with you their thoughts and experiences from the past few years. A Royal Oaks teacher reminded us all of the work that Duarte teachers do on a daily basis. Teachers are PE coaches, bathroom monitors, nurses, computer techs, secretaries, counselors, friends, backpack repair servicers, parent ambassadors, and so much more. One of our counselors talks about how stressful the past years have been for our most vulnerable populations. An ECE teacher refers to the uncertainty that comes at the end of every year. One member, likely to be given a RIF notice, states, "It feels like from now until June, I literally stop mattering. Staff meetings or school celebrations, any type of look towards a future, just seems like I might not be a part of it. Please have some compassion and gentleness when making layoff decisions." A tired but hopeful Duarte teacher asks, "I beg you, please consider your role in helping us through these crazy years and understand where we are coming from. We want to save our teammates' jobs. We want to be paid equal to our neighbors as well." These are just a few of our stories, but we only have 3 minutes. I'm delivering the other responses, approximately 50 or more. I'm delivering those other responses tonight in this envelope. It covers salary, benefits, perpetual layoff cycles, retirement, and the day-to-day experiences of Duarte early education teachers, counselors, psychologists, speech pathologists, adapted PE teachers, other service providers. With all of the different responses, one trend did stand out. We love working with our colleagues. We love working with the families of Duarte. We would appreciate if you also work with us as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. We will continue with general functions. And item 11.1 is approve the minutes of the regular meeting of February 10, 2022, and the special meeting of February 17, 2022, and February 22nd, 2022. Moved by Mr. Bell.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Carroll. Any discussion? Ariana, what is your position?
Yes.
Guadalupe?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finley?
Yes.
Mrs. Koo? And Reina Diaz, yes. I'm gonna go a little bit out of order, Dr. Emerson. I just like to say thank you to all the teachers who came tonight to support each other. It is really good to see all of you, no matter what the reasons are, but it's good to see all of you together. Thank you for being here tonight. Okay, I gonna move to item 11.2. It is approve the consent calendar.
Move to approve?
Second.
Does anyone has, before Mr. Bell and Dr. Finlay move and second, does anyone have, want to remove any item for separate discussion or action? Okay, since none, Mr. Bell move and Dr. Finlay second. And I will call for your vote. Okay, Ariana
Yes.
and Guadalupe
Yes.
and Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
and Dr. Finlay,
Yes.
Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz, yes. Okay, this item has been approved. Moving along with item 12.1, public hearing resolution number 19-21-22, reduction of discontinuance of particular kinds of service. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Move to open?
Moved by Mr. Bell, second. Second by Mrs. Carroll. The motion, the public hearing is open at this point.
Madam President.
Oh, I'm sorry, I need to call
Thank you.
Ariana,
Yes.
Guadalupe,
Yes.
you know what, I want like 10 to abstain. Should I?
Well, at this point, they're just opening the public hearing.
I see, okay.
But I would,
Guadalupe, yes,
I would
thank
agree
you.
on the next item.
Thank you. Mr. Bell
Yes.
and Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
Dr. Finlay,
Yes.
Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and it's open, this is open to the public hearing at this time.
Madam President, I don't see any speakers coming forward. This is just for the public, but when we have the next item, there certainly can be a discussion.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do I have a motion to close to the public hearing?
Move to close?
Moved by Mr. Bell.
Second.
Second by Dr. Finlay. At this point, I will ask for vote. Ariana,
Yes.
Guadalupe,
Yes.
Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
and Dr. Finlay,
Yes.
and Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz, yes. Thank you. Item 12.2, public hearing, approve resolution number 17-21-22 regarding a layoff of classified personnel. May I have a motion?
So move?
Moved by Mr. Bell, second.
Second?
Second by Mrs. Carroll. I gonna ask for a roll call, but at this point, I gonna ask Ariana and.
Madam- No,
Yes.
this is just the second public hearing on the classified side. So we'll have,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, Ariana,
Yes.
Guadalupe,
Yes.
thank you. Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
and Dr. Finlay,
Yes.
Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz, yes. Is now, the public hearing is now open.
And Madam President, I don't see any speakers at this time.
Okay, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Move to close?
Moved by Mr. Bell, second by Mrs. Koo. Ariana,
Yes.
Guadalupe,
Yes.
Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
Dr. Finlay,
Yes.
Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz, yes. Item 12.3, resolution number 18-21-22, determination of seniority among certificate employees with the same seniority date, tiebreaker resolution. May I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second.
Second.
Second by Dr. Finlay. Any discussion? Dr. Emerson, can you give us a little bit info on this, or Mr. Crosby?
Yeah, I'm happy to start, and then I'll kick it over to Mr. Crosby as he's getting a mic in
Thank
front of
you.
him. This is customary to make sure that if there's an event that an employee or two employees have the exact same hire date, you would use additional criteria to determine if somebody was to get skipped and to be able to break the tie. So that's what this criteria is laid out as. This is customary. We do this each time we have to do any type of reduction in force. Mr. Crosby, would you like to add anything to that?
No, you said it well.
Thank you. Okay. It has been moved by Mr. Bell, second by Dr. Finlay. I will do a roll call. Ariana?
Yes.
Guadalupe?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finlay?
Yes.
Mrs. Cool?
Yes.
And Reina Diaz, yes. Item 12.4, adopt resolution 19-2122, reduction or I'm sorry. May I have a motion to adopt the resolution 19-2122 with the noted amendment? I need a motion.
So move. So move on
Second.
adoption resolution.
Mr. Bell and Mrs. Carroll. Any discussion or question? Any comments?
Madam President?
Yes, sir, please.
Would, I just feel like it might be helpful for me to remind everybody what the adjustment
Please.
was there. That as members of the community and those that are watching online, at the beginning of the meeting, at the adoption of the agenda, I did ask to do an amended agenda, and this is the item where there was a change. The number on the particular kinds of services resolution, initially when posted for the public to meet the Brown Act on Monday, it said 11.2 full-time equivalents, and now at the beginning of the meeting we amended the agenda, to reflect 11.0, thereby removing the .2 high school vocal music section. So that's why we've read into the record to adopt the amended version. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Emerson. I now call to roll call. Diana?
Roll call. I was just hoping if you could share with the community why we make this reduction in March and not later in the year, in addition to why do the same people continue to be notified to be potentially laid off?
Thank you, Board Member Koo. Mr. Crosby.
Yes, it is a statutory education code that we have to give notice by March 15th. It is customary in Duarte, we give a preliminary notice in March 15th, and then we gave a final notice by May 14th. We cannot, if we do not give a notice by March 15th, then we cannot do any kind of reduction in force. So part of Ed Code that we have to give this notice this early. And that's why it's always done in either the March or February board meeting. And part of why certain people get notices, it's based on seniority. So when we do any reductions, we have to look for the least senior person, and that who gets reduced. And from the comment before, it seems like everybody that we get, they get a notice, and then we sometimes bring them back. Well, by the time it May happens, then we sometimes get notices of retirements or other people leaving. So that is why we can bring people back, because then there's an opening for them. And that's one question what the speaker spoke about, maybe trying to do an incentive so that we could bring people back as well. But when we give them a notice in March, that is not the final notice. It's a preliminary notice. And some people also get what's called a precautionary notice. The precautionary notice is if they have the same seniority date. And the tiebreaker is what you just approved as well. Makes the order of those notes. But if you have the same exact seniority date, we give everybody in that date a notice as well. So sometimes people get what's called a precautionary notice. Those notices, we don't believe that they would be reduced, but just precautionary in case every employee is allowed to have a hearing about making sure that they are the least senior person. And so that precautionary notice goes out just in case the hearing says no, the other person should have got the notice instead. And so that is why we do the notices in March, and why people that seem to get notices almost every year, because they are the least senior person. And why we're making these cuts is based on enrollment. If we kept our enrollment and our enrollment grew, which we would all love to do, then we wouldn't have to reduce employees. But when we have enrollment being lower by 100 students, that means we have class sizes and would need less staff. And no one likes to do this. We would like to turn that around and make sure that we keep our enrollment, and then so we don't have to go with reductions.
Thank you, Mr. Crosby. Any other question? At this point, I will ask Ariana and Guadalupe. I will give you the option to abstain on this item 12.4. But I will call Ariana.
Abstain.
Thank you. Guadalupe?
Abstain.
Thank you. Mr. Bell?
So move.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finley?
Yes.
Mrs. Cool?
Yes.
And Reina Diaz, yes. Thank you. Item 12.5, Resolution 1721-22 regarding layoff of classified personnel. May I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Moved by Mr. Bell. Second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Finley. Any discussion, questions?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask Mr. Crosby if he can share why this particular item is coming in the month of March, when customarily an item like this does not come in March, and then also share kind of why the positions are the positions that are listed on this particular item. Mr. Crosby.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before 2022, classified employees in Ed Code was to be given a 60-day notice for any kind of layoffs. The state legislator changed that education code. Now that classified employees now have to receive a March notice as well, just like the certificated employees. So that is why you are getting this in March rather than primarily if we ever did any kind of reduction in staff with classified, it was usually done in May, primarily 60 days before the start of the school year. This reduction notice reflects your vote on closing Andres Duarte. The positions here doesn't reflect the people at Andres Duarte, but just the positions that were there because of closing the school.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Crosby. Okay, I will call for roll call. And the same, Ariana and Guadalupe, I will give you the option to abstain. Ariana?
Abstain.
Thank you. Guadalupe?
Abstain.
Thank you. Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finley?
Yes.
Mrs. Cool?
Yes.
And Reina Diaz, yes. Thank you. Item 12.6, Resolution 20-21-22 regarding non-reelection and release from employment of temporary certificate employees. May I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Bell.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Carroll. Any discussion? Any comments? Roll.
Community, just why we're bringing this up again. When we did this same type of resolution back in, I believe, our February meeting.
Absolutely, Madam President. Thank you, Board Member Koo. Mr. Crosby?
I'm sorry, I did not hear the question.
Oh, the question was why we brought this item this evening when we brought a similar item in the month of February.
I do not know that answer.
Yeah, we actually, we talked about it. Remember, this is the temp employee, this is the one we missed in February?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were on the next item.
No,
Resolution.
we're on the.
The temporary employee. I'm
yes,
sorry,
sir.
where you're at. Yes.
Okay.
What happened was in the month of February, we noticed our temporary employees, our certificate employees, before we could do any kind of reductions in certificated staff, we have to release all temporary employees before. We found that we missed one of our temporary employees. So that is why we brought this up, to make sure that we had the one temporary employee prior, and before we could do any of, give out notices to our certificated staff, we have to release all temporary employees first.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Crosby. Once again, Ariana and Guadalupe, I give you the option to abstain. I will roll call. Ariana?
Abstain.
Thank you. Guadalupe?
Abstained.
Thank you. Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finley?
Yes.
Mrs. Koo?
Yes.
And Reina Diaz, yes. Thank you. Item 12.7, resolution number 15-21-22, National Youth Violence Prevention Week, April 25th to April 29, 2022. May I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Bell. Second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Carroll. Any discussion?
Do we have any activities regarding this, or just something we designate and that's it, or is there actually activities about this?
Mr. Crosby?
No, yes, we do. The high school and our academies do have conversations, especially about this, and make sure that it's promoted so that we're all together and to make sure to stop all violence.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crosby. I do a roll call. Ariana?
Yes.
Guadalupe?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finley?
Yes.
And Mrs. Koo?
Yes.
And Reina Diaz, yes. Thank you. Motion is carried. So item 13.1, AG Completion Improvement Grant Program. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second by Dr. Finlay. Any discussion?
Yes, can you explain the A to G, or for everyone else to, I think it's Dr. Hillman?
Yeah,
How
absolutely.
this works?
Dr. Hill, I'm sorry, Board Member Carroll, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you finish your question? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I did. I
Okay.
mean, what exactly A to G, and for everyone else to understand what this is?
So the A through G requirements are those courses that students take in the high school that would prepare them to be eligible to be admitted into a University of California, California State University. And so our goal is to have as many students as possible complete these courses, these rigorous courses, and this grant funding that came down from the state was to help us improve opportunities for our students to complete these courses and pass these courses. So the funding will be used to provide options for students to take the courses for credit recovery, other types of trainings, and expanding opportunities that will be more successful for our students. The monies we have are restricted funds for this purpose and must be utilized over the next 2 school years.
Thank you.
And may
Please, go ahead, Dr. Finley.
Thank you very much. So Dr. Hillman, in there it said it was up to $75,000. So two questions about that. Do we know what the amount is, and is it that amount split over 2 years, or that amount each of the 2 years?
So when the state determined they had given us a formula that said that we would, each district, eligible district, would receive a minimum of $75,000 for 2 different portions of this funding. Actually, the allocations have come down, and they're really in the range of, I believe, total together almost $250,000, but that's over 2 years, so it's $250,000 total.
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay. Ariana?
Yes.
Guadalupe?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finley?
Yes.
Mrs. Koo?
Yes.
And Reina Diaz, yes. The motion is carried. Item 13.2, consolidated application winter 2021-2022. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bell. Second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Carroll. Any discussion?
Madam President?
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to ask Dr. Hillman just for just a quick synopsis of what the CONAP is.
Thank you.
CONAP stands for the Consolidated Application, and it is the way that we would apply for federal dollars, federal spending dollars. Those are restricted funds for purposes for helping us with helping students through Title I programs, for professional development, English learners, and safety monies. These are very specific federal programs. We submit the application actually in June. You'll see it on the June agenda each year for the upcoming school year, and then there's a winter application portion as well, and we bring it to the board for approval the second time as well.
Thank you, Dr. Hillman. Any other question? Roll call. Ariana?
Yes.
Guadalupe?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finlay?
Yes.
Mrs. Koo?
Yes.
Reina Diaz? Yes. Item 14.1, Business and Finances, authorization to acquire bids for district-wide landscaping services. District staff is requesting authorization to acquire bids for district-wide landscaping services beginning July 1st, 2022. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second. Second by Mrs. Koo. Any discussion? Okay, this is something that we do often, right? Not every year, but like, or it's every year?
This would qualify as regular and routine.
Regular routine, right?
And this is the grass is cut and
That's correct.
and everything else. Okay.
To keep-
Yes.
yeah. Okay, thank you. Ariana, what is your vote?
Yes.
Guadalupe?
Yes.
And Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finlay?
Yes.
Mrs. Koo?
Yes.
And Reina Diaz, yes. Item 14.2, accept bid and award contract to Integrated Pest Control Management to provide pest control services to the Food Services Department. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Carroll. Any discussion? Ariana, roll call. Ariana?
Yes.
Guadalupe?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll?
Yes.
Dr. Finlay?
Yes.
Mrs. Koo? And Reina Diaz, yes. Item 14.3, reject ProCraft Construction bid protest for bid number 2122-DUH066-4. May I have a motion?
Move. So move.
Moved by Mr. Bell, second.
Second.
Second by Dr. Finlay. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just if any more highlight, because this is kind of serious, you know, the bid rejected. So somebody saw something that was not correct, correct?
Yes, and Ms. Bell will address this issue.
The bid was rejected, this is regarding our tennis court project, and the bid was rejected by one of the contractors who was not selected. And he stated that the low bidder did not have the proper license. We sent the information over to our attorney and to the construction management company, and they reject the low bid. So we will still go with they rejected the bid protest, and so we will continue to go with the low bid of JPI.
Any other question?
Yeah, who caught this? This is kind of nice. I mean, it's kind of nice to hear. Who caught this?
Well, they actually have to send it in to us.
I beg your pardon?
They do the actual protest, and they
Okay.
have to send it in to us and say they do not agree with what they were given as not being selected.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Bell. Roll call, Ariana,
Yes.
Guadalupe,
Yes.
and Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
Dr. Finley,
Yes.
Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz, yes. We move to item 14, non-agenda items. Mr. Bell. I'm gonna start with the student, I'm sorry. Student board, Ariana.
Okay, so not much to say tonight, but for what I heard and everything that's going on for the next few months of the school year, we may be excited about what's going to happen and how the students and the community are going to grow as the new year comes. But we have to also consider that it's going to be a lot of division and a lot of sadness as we lose a school in our community. So we must remember, as the board, we must remember to communicate with our community, with our students, and remember to bring in their perspective through all of this, since we are losing members of our own faculty and members and students. So we must remember to keep in communication with them and to keep very transparent, which you guys are pretty good at doing, but make sure to keep transparent with them so they know exactly the next steps and how their students and how the students of our community are going to work through this loss that we made. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Guadalupe?
Hi, so it has been brought to my attention that at MIT we are getting more students. We keep getting more students, which is great. It means that, we're doing a great job with them. And I mean, I am a student, and we are doing a great job. But I noticed that it should be somewhere around 15 students per teacher, and we're almost at twice that. So at this point, I think we're a little bit understaffed. So I think that's something to look at in the future, so that our students could keep doing great and our school could keep doing great.
Okay, thank you, Guadalupe. Mr. Bell?
Yes. I've been a board member for quite a while, and we had some visiting students from Japan. And as always, I have an opportunity to be involved. I'm on the foundation here in the school district. And I just want to say one of the things that really thrilled me was I can remember when we voted as a school board to close down the school, junior high school, and CS Arts came in and they brought their brand of education in. And to be involved in a situation where we had these young people that came from another country, another culture, and to see the CS Arts campus, the administration and students it was almost a love fest of young people that had a chance to meet and see other people from other cultures. And to see the exchange and the idea, I had a chance to walk with them from here to the teen center, and they had a ball over there, and they came back there just to love the environment they were in. One afternoon, they had some kind of activity where they had music and all that for lunchtime, and they had a hard time getting them to leave the lunch area. But it was just good to see some of the things that we had in place thinking about how could we mesh the CSRs with the Duarte Unified School District. We saw it in action to me. I saw it in action where young people who, they invited the kids to beach parties with their families, and there was all kind of exchange. So it's kind of like what we always visualize, at least I did, where you have different cultures and people that learn to get along and enjoy the different things and aspects of life. But to see it at a young age was almost a tearjerker for me to see something like that happen. It's kind of like what you envision, seeing young people be able to experience another side of life. And so I was really involved in the aspect of seeing how adults and young people can do some things. And I really do believe we have a real partnership, and the principal and the staff at CSRs, along with them joining with us to do this. And I just wanted to say it was, being one of the members at the time when we voted about it, voted to have CSRs here. It was really pleasing to see the cooperation. They were very cordial. The kids loved them. They loved the kids. And so I'm just saying, for me, it was kind of like validation of making a decision to have something like that for our community. So for me, that was a very, very much a highlight, and I'm very appreciative that I had a chance to be involved. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Mrs. Carroll?
To follow up with Mr. Bell, I don't know if I said this. Now I'm forgetting all the weeks we've been here. Like every week we've had meetings. But we had that collaboration with CSRs and Duarte High School, and we had it at the gym there, where we had some performers. The jazz band was there along with the choir from CSRs, and then we had Mr. Albright, I think it's Mr. Albright, who performed. And it was kind of put together kind of with Joe Kenny involved, Mr. Kenny. So, and it was Sarah Marie Young who sang and did a beautiful job. And the kids, it was a great night, and I'd love to see more collaboration like that with the two schools. We have the opportunity to work together. I think we should. And then, of course, MLK was a wonderful event last week. And I got to see the Teen Center dance group was wonderful, and speakers, and Ms. Rain over here being a great host too, and some really wonderful examples or mentors that worked. I think they had the photographer there who worked and did some what brand was it, H&M or something, the store, department store. And then we have, of course, our wonderful celebration for a new gym, which for me, being a parent here, and I think all of us are excited about it. I mean, I don't know if my my kid would be seeing it, I mean, during this time of school, but just what I've heard from other kids talk about, that, you know, it's just pride. You know, they want a sense of pride in our school, and, you know, and it's just gonna bring, I think anything like this is gonna be exciting for anything. And I think there's so many ways you can use the gym. It's not only, I know everybody talks about football, but I think it's the wrestling team and the basketball team and what am I forgetting? The volleyball team.
A good gym can do a good time.
So you can do so much with it. So I'm so excited for the kids at the high school and in our community as well. I think parents are going to be excited about that. Just to go back on today, it's always painful, the March meetings, you know, and we're just, you know, when it comes to, you know, some of the things, we just want to become fiscally solvent here in our district. And hopefully as we go through the years here, that we won't have to necessarily sit through these, you know, layoffs or pink slips or what I guess Mr. Cropsey was talking about. It's not necessarily going to happen, but it's always painful for these March meetings, and hopefully we'll get to a spot where this will be obsolete and we won't have to go through this anymore. But basically, we're just, you know, we're trying to make sure that we are fiscally responsible in making decisions here in our district. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. Dr. Finley?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I want to just say with regards to the PKS votes that we performed tonight, you know, I think that you know, legally we have to do this now, but I along with the other board members and Dr. Amerson and his staff, are not, throwing up our hands in defeat and just saying, hey, this is the way it goes. There's work to be done on this still, and I'm hoping that through our efforts and the efforts of others, that we'll get that 11.0 FTE number down considerably. So I just want to let people know that this is not the end of that decision. And like Ms. Carroll said, hopefully this is something we can work towards not having to do every year. I can't imagine having that looming over my head every year. It is not fun, I can imagine. But on a somewhat lighter note, I do want to echo the positive sentiments about the sports complex groundbreaking that we had. I was really pleased with the work that Ms. Tiffany Bell did to pull that together. That was really, really a great thing. I know it was an effort by a lot of people, and it was a great event to take part in. I will point out though that my son, who's in 3rd grade, I did have to break the bad news to him that the gymnasium is not going to come with free cookies every day. So he was super excited that he thought the gym would just have cookies all the time, and that's not the way it goes. But I like his optimism. I want to make sure, if there are any people listening at home, we do have still several DUSD engagement roadshows that are going to be happening this coming week. If you haven't been able to attend any, I'd highly recommend doing so. There's excellent information put up by Ms. Tiffany Bell about our budget, and then by Dr. Nadi Hillman with regards to our LCAP. Just really, really good, solid information about the budget of the district and about what we're doing to try to improve. And that's really what we're trying to do here, is have a history of continuous improvement and never feeling like we're done and always learning. So just invite the community out to those. The dates and times for those are on the district website. They're on the social media accounts. I believe they were probably sent out over Parent Square as well. So please, if you haven't gone, find one that works for your schedule, and please attend, because they're very, very useful. So I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Finlay. Mrs. Koo?
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to all our teachers for attending tonight's board meeting. I know that myself and the rest of the board, we really appreciate hearing your voices and opinions. And it's obvious and clear that you're making a tremendous impact on our Duarte students, so thank you for that. With that, obviously, we did make a difficult decision today, but my hope is that, just like Dr. Finlay said, is to hopefully roll back that reduction in force, because we do have amazing educators working with our students. And so as the district moves towards a more fiscally stable position, just like Mr. Crosby said, these March meetings can hopefully move from being anxiety-filled to the community learning about the amazing opportunities and exciting news that our district is offering for our students, parents, and community, like our high school sports complex. So we're making, tough decisions now, but we're hoping that, in the long run, we build a really sustainable and strong district for our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Koo. And for myself, I would like to say that the event that we attend for Martin Luther King the other day, I was so nervous to be the MC of that program. But not for the adults. I was nervous to be in front of the students of the high school. It is a challenge to be able not to control, but to get attention from the students. And I did learn that I was wrong, that when I saw those students up there, they were very respectful. And I just saw one girl that was removed from the whole crowd, and I put her on a separate bench, and she didn't move at all after that. And I am very proud to see those students acting as an adult people, sometimes better behavior than adults. I can tell you that tonight was a very sweet, bitter flavor to see that we get together to resolve some issues, but peacefully and with respect. When you see on the other side of the world what's going on for no reason. And I can tell you that the key of peace is respect. And I saw that from our teachers tonight and also from our board. And I really like to thank Dr. Emerson for your leadership, and Mr. Crosby and Dr. Hillman for your relation that you have built with respect among all our teachers and classified, all the employees from DUSD. It is not easy to keep a good relationship. And when there is no relationship, there is no respect. And so I also like to thank Mrs. Bell, Tiffany Bell, for bringing us all the numbers and all the information that we need to have in order for us to make the right decisions. And like Mrs. Koo said and Dr. Finlay, it's painful. And all of us agree that it's painful. But I know that we can, one day we will say, yes, we made it, we did it. And I can tell you that the journey that I did 46 years ago, I never thought that I will have the honor and the privilege to serve the USD as a board member. And I hope that I don't fail that position. And I just really feel proud and honored to be seated at these tables with all of you, and very proud of our two students board too. I know that the two of you can be one day making decisions for our teachers too. You have the tools, you have the experience, and if one day someone tells you, do you want to run for school board? Go for it. You might not have hundreds of dollars in your payroll, but you're going to have a very, very proud feeling in your heart that you can change life being in a position as a board member. So once again, thank you to Dr. Emerson, to your staff, your cabinet, and Mercedes. Once again, thank you for being there when I don't know how to get into the new agenda. For being there when I don't even know where the meeting is, because I read the agenda, but I got it just for sure that it's at the community center. So thank you. And Ms. Messner, thank you for your leadership. It is good to you keep ourselves communicate and that you do it with respect. So tell your teachers whenever you have an opportunity that I wish that one of these days we can have to reward the teachers what they deserve. And so thank you for staying with us until the end of the meeting. With that, Dr. Emerson.
Thank you, Madam President, and to the members of the board. Thank you for, I just want to reciprocate and thank you for your leadership as well. I know that these are not easy meetings to have. These are not easy decisions to make. When we step into roles of leadership, we know that we'll be faced with tough decisions, and we know we'll be faced with really, really hard decisions. I would always remind myself and my team that our job that we wake up really, really excited to do every single day is to always think about the whole, but never forget about the pieces that make the whole. And sometimes those are really, really, they're really tough pills to swallow. But I am always focused on how do we make this entire system, how do we make this entire district, how do we make it the best we possibly can. And that is a day-to-day, week in, week out, month-by-month process. But we're always going to keep working hard. And we've got some opportunities that the board has discussed with us. We've got some strategies that we can employ. We've got a lot of experience on this executive team about how to move these systems and how to move these dials. We have a lot of experience at our school sites with our leaders. We have very, very, very competent, very, very dynamic school site leaders, and we have very, very competent and dynamic educators and professionals, education professionals across this district. I want to take a moment just to give my gratitude and thanks to Heather from DUEA, as well as Christy from CSEA. They are partners with this, and we won't always see eye to eye, and Heather and I have these conversations all the time, and that's okay. It's the dialogue that matters. It's the discussion that matters, because we want the same thing, which is we want Duarte Unified School District to be successful. And we both have our strategies and ways of going about it, and we'll find ways to meet in the middle. So Heather, thank you for your partnership and your leadership in that regard. And as we move forward, when we wake up tomorrow, we're going to come really, really hungry and thirsty to support our kids and to support our programs and services that we do. So thank you, board, for the work tonight, and we will keep you posted as we move this work forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Emerson and Mercedes. Our next special board meeting is going to be when? The 9th, next week. Is that at the community center?
5 p.m.
5 p.m. at the community center. So remember, a special board meeting. It's on a Wednesday, yes, not a Thursday, yes. With that, I need a motion to adjourn the.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mrs. Carroll, and second by Dr. Finlay and Mr. Bell.
Yes.
Okay. Any other comment or discussion? Okay. Ariana,
Yes.
Guadalupe,
Yes.
and Mr. Bell,
Yes.
Mrs. Carroll,
Yes.
Dr. Finlay,
Yes.
Mrs. Koo,
Yes.
and Reina Diaz. Thank you, Max, for tonight. It was nice to be here. So with that, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.